You are a nonprofit, so if someone wants to contribute, how could they do that?
Right now, the way to contribute would be to make any kind of check out to the the Chillicothe-Ross Military Tribute Museum. And if you get it to myself or Melody, people that are on the board, if somebody doesn't know where to drop something off, if they drop it off here at the Veterans Service Office in the county building, they will get it to the right place to get into the funds of the Chillicothe-Ross Military Tribute Museum.
And when he says if you want to drop it off to somebody on the board, we have myself as the president, we have Bob Leach as the vice president and acting treasurer. We've got Jonna Pulver as the secretary. We've got Jan Corzine, Bobby Barnhart, Greg Miles, and Judge Ader on the board. I don't think I missed anybody, I don't think.
And Jonna works here in the
she works
Veterans.
Here. Yes, she does. Yep.
And you're just now talking about building a website.
Yes, yes. We hope that will be forthcoming in the near future.
Any guess for a timeline on this? I know it's dependent on the city moving out, presumably to the Pepsi building over on 7th Street.
Right.
But do you have any?
I'm going to say at this point we do not, because the main thing that we have worked hard as a board to do is to make sure that when that move happens, we have an on-the-shelf plan ready to go. We've been established as a 501c3 organization. We've got our financial account in order. We've got our board set up. We've got bylaws for the board. We've got the plan for the museum. Those are the things that we will have. And then once we get the okay, then at that point, we would be able to look at some kind of idea of when we might have actual museum opening or something like that. One of the other things that we've got to do here is go through the process to get grants from some of the various entities out there that offer grants for something like this. The veterans and some of the fraternal organizations in town are supportive of the idea, and down the road could even be entities that fund on a monthly basis, so that this museum would be able to hire docents, curators, and people.
We'd like to run it very similar to what the Historical Society does. So they have a wonderful setup, and we would like to emulate that as much as possible.
And I think it's important to note now that this is not a entity that's off in itself. We have coordinated with the Ross County Historical Society, and they're excited about a military related museum in the near area. We've coordinated with the Mace House that's at the VA hospital that has some displays. Of course, there's some other historical facilities in town. The Lucy Webb Hayes House, the Caboose, the Ross County Railroad Museum, and the Nickens Museum. A lot of other things have certain connections to the military that a visitor to our museum could hear about those and go to those places, and vice versa. If somebody visiting those places would want to come find out the military aspects.
A lot of mini museums, and we all need to work together.
Absolutely.
And the Visitors Bureau also supports you.
Yes.
And then we have America 250 coming up, which involves Revolutionary veterans, plus the World Heritage for the Hopewell, which will be bringing in visitors. So this is a prime time to get a new museum set up.
And of course, it'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the importance of Camp Sherman and the World War I legacy in Ross County to the Chillicothe-Ross Military Tribute Museum. In fact, just a mere yards away, another facility in Chillicothe was taken over by Camp Sherman soldiers at gunpoint. That was a military incident that happened very close to the location of this Chillicothe-Ross Military Tribute Museum. And the other thing is Camp Sherman was such an important part of Ross County history during World War I that it would have to be a large part of what we're going to be explaining in the museum.
And one other thing related to it too, it's not just the other entities like the different museums too. We fully anticipate that this will be a learning tool, because we envision a point where we would have tours where different school ages would be able to take tours of the facility, similar to what they do at the Historical Society, so that we can educate the younger adults as they move through their education.
And even better, our location is in walking distance of Chillicothe Elementary, Chillicothe Intermediate, and Chillicothe Middle and High Schools.
Yeah.
So is there some place that people can learn more about the effort yet before you get your website up?
I would say it's word of mouth and phone calls at this point, but the website, we anticipate that being up within a month or so.
But if anybody has any questions, I'm good with giving out my phone number. Are you?
Yeah, we can do that.
Because I'd be more than glad to talk about this to anybody that will listen. But again, Melody Lapczynski Hatfield at 740-703-9957. And
Bob Leach, 740-773-7609.
And you have email address that you'd be willing to share?
Yeah, sure do. Mine is Robert Leach, all run together with no capitals or punctuation, at AOL.com.
And mine would be Melody Hatfield, and it's MELODY Hatfield 13 at gmail.com.
All right. Well, you guys just had a board meeting, and I gave you what I knew about the buildings and the history of the site. So hopefully everything will come together soon, and Chillicothe will have yet another museum, a historic place for people to visit and learn.
Yeah. Thank you so very much for doing this, Kevin.
Well, thank you. Melody Lapczynski Hatfield and Bob Leach, thank you very much with the Chillicothe-Ross Military Tribute Museum.
Thank you.